Hello and welcome, everybody. We are so happy to have you here at the One of a Kind webinar for the holiday show. We are still getting everyone accepted into the Zoom, so we're going to give it just a few minutes and then we'll get started. Okay, I think we're going to get started. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us here at the One of a Kind Holiday Show webinar. We do this before every show, mostly for new artists, artists joining us this year. But it certainly is for any artist that wants to just make sure they have everything organized and that they're not missing anything. And it's just part of your pre-show prep that we think is really helpful. So welcome. So the first thing I want to do is introduce our team. We have quite a few of them here today and some that you'll see at the show. But I'll start. I'm Kathleen Hogan. I'm the show director. I've been with the show for over 20 years. I love producing the show. I love giving artists an opportunity to, connect their work with our attendees. The holiday show will have almost 50,000 attendees coming to shop. So we're super excited, and I'm here. You'll get emails from me if you haven't already. And, obviously I'll be on site to make sure everything runs smoothly. I'm going to have the team introduce themselves now.
Okay, hi, my name is Marie Gervasi. I'm the Artist Relations Coordinator. I've been here for about 3 years now. So you've probably heard from me in a lot of communication. So any artist relations questions, you'll hear that from me.
Hi, my name is Jordan Messenger. I am the marketing manager. I've been with the show about a year and a half. So you will get all communication from me regarding all things marketing, pre and during the show.
Joining us today as well is Debbie Rosenfeld and Terrell. Thank you, Estimame. We're so happy to have our team here today to answer any questions. You'll also meet Lisa Simonian, our VP of Marketing. at the show. And then you may have also spoken or emailed with Camille Navarro, who handles all of the financial relations, as you know, your booth fee and anything that you need to purchase. Camille is in charge of that and is happy to help. So we will get started. Just a quick rundown of what to expect in this webinar. It should be about an hour. We'll try to keep to that. We're going to go through registration and your artist profile. We'll talk about move-in and all the details related to that. Setup and teardown. Details about your specific booth, and then also design ideas for booths. And then we'll hit a final checklist just to make sure you have everything before the show. And we'll open it up to questions. In regards to questions, feel free to send, type in the chat box, but we definitely, I would suggest you kind of wait to the end, because it's likely that we will cover all your questions. But we'll do all the questions that are left over at the end. Okay, we want to start out with a video that we'll talk about some of the details of the show, but brought to you by artists that are either in the show currently or have done the show. And we think that that's just a really great way to get a perspective of the show, other than what we're offering. So hang on one second.
So with spring, it's just like this flourishing emergence from the winter. Like, oh, let's get colorful. You're going on, you know, spring break, or the summer's coming. You can wear this at the pool. And so it's just a really neat way to have that like human connection instead of behind the computer screen on the website for sales that like help people get ready. It's almost like styling them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this like experience that you're helping them get ready for like the next part of the year to enjoy.
It's so well attended, and there's a lot to see.
And there's just so much incredible art, incredible artists of all types. And that's what I love about it. I love that you can walk literally in 10 feet. You can see amazing sculptures and crafts, amazing, hopefully, photography.
There's so much available now. I mean, you can buy everything from baby gifts and toddler gifts up to, you know, really nice expensive jewelry pieces for your wife or your mother or whatever. Like, so it's just, the gamut is there. So yeah.
They started doing the art gallery several years ago, and I sold a couple pieces out of that, which is really, really nice. It's a good showcase, and it really, it's a good sampling of all the fine artists that are in the show. And you know, over the years, a lot of those folks are my friends, because we've been doing that show and other shows. We bump into each other, and I really appreciate the quality of the artists that are in the show. That it kind of it raises all in the public's eye to be associated with the show and to be seen together. You know?
And that's what's neat about One of a Kind, is you bring together 500 artists, I think it is, from all over the world, who display their work. And so it's been an honor to be a part of it.
Really think about how they can merchandise those pieces that would be easy and make great gifts and still really represent their line. Read every email. That is a huge like plus. Like, read every email and follow the timelines, and if you don't understand something, for sure reach out.
And what's amazing about One of a Kind is the number of people y'all bring through the door is incredible. The thousands of people who come into the door. And what's even better is the people who come in the door are looking for art. They're art lovers. They're looking to buy art. They're looking to enjoy art. So it's a really unique opportunity within a short amount of time to reach thousands of people that you can't reach otherwise.
Okay, great. I love that video because I think the artists, give you great advice about, making sure you have everything, reading everything. We try not to send too many emails. We've tried to pare it down. So that's why, when you do get an email, it's likely to be pretty important or has a timeline or has a due date. So let's begin. So one of the first things, if you haven't done it already, is to make sure that you go to Exhibitor Central. So that is on our website, oneofakindshowchicago.com, and it's a link under Exhibit. It's the last link, and it takes you to Exhibitor Central, and it's going to have everything you need, truly. That's where you're going to find the registration link, talks about your booth details, all the things we're discussing today about setup and dismantle, the ordering portal, if there's something you need to order for your booth space, additional chairs, additional lighting, artist amenities, programming, anything we have lined up for you all, marketing, newsletters, the floor plan, and then details about hotels. So again, in addition to this webinar, that is the most important thing that you should be doing is taking a look at that page and just going line by line and making sure you have everything. Just the basics of the show. Here's the show hours. These are also listed on the website. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Artists need to be here for all of those days. We'll talk about the 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday of setup later. But these are the show hours. Most important part of this slide is that artists are allowed access every morning at 8 a.m. to tweak their booth, replenish from artist storage, and get everything organized. So you have access at 8 a.m. all the days of the show. I'm going to pass it over to Jordan, who's going to give you a little more advice about some pre-show items.
All right, everyone. So one of the most important things that you want to do before coming to the show is register yourself and everyone that is authorized to work in your booth during the show. The link to do so is on Exhibitor Central. Everyone starts with 4 registration badges, but if you need more, feel free to reach out. And when you arrive to the show, you're going to go to the registration desk under the grand staircase in the south lobby to pick up your badge and also your welcome packet, which is going to have some great information in it as well. Another important step to do pre-show is to make sure that your artist profile on our website is filled out. You want to personalize this with pictures, copy, links to your website, link to your social media, all of those things, so that when attendees are on our website and looking through the artist directory, they can find you and they can find out more about you. This is a great way to boost your visibility to our attendees, showcase your story, and it's just a really great branding opportunity. So if you haven't done so already, please go in and update your profile, and all of the instructions to do this is on Exhibitor Central as well. All right. And as far as marketing resources go, we do have a couple of complimentary marketing materials, such as the artist web banners for your websites. And we also have shareable graphics that you can post on your social media platforms. Last year, I know we got a few requests to have one that is customizable. So we do have that for you. You can add a picture of your work and upload that to your social media platforms. Additionally, we have an artist Facebook group that you can join where you can ask questions and network with other artists leading up to the show. We also have comp tickets, both digital and printed, that you can send out to your network of clients and your shows prior to One of a Kind. Additionally, we have some advice here to, get yourself boosted out there on social media. Make sure that you are posting on your Instagram, posting stories, and tagging us at OOAK Chicago so that we can share those in the days leading up to and during the show. All of this can also be found on Exhibitor Central. And then a few more additional promotion that we have. We have the Fine Art Gallery that we are still accepting applications to. So if you're interested in having a piece in the gallery, this curated space on the show floor, please feel free to fill out an application. We also have the Patron's Choice program where attendees will be voting for their favorite booths. There are QR codes and more information regarding this on Exhibitor Central, and also will be in your welcome packet. We have the artist interview form, which I am still accepting submissions to. I pull these submissions for blogs, the gift guide, and other marketing and social media giveaway opportunities. So if you're interested and haven't done that already, please feel free to do so. And then our PR and marketing agency, Heron, and then also the Gage Collective, who is our other social media strategies. If you receive any emails or Heron or the Gage Collective, please respond as soon as possible because that is regarding promotional opportunities. And now I will pass it on to Marie to talk all things moving.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about on-site procedures, move in. So like what Kathleen said, the move in is the Tuesday and Wednesday before the show. So Tuesday, December 3rd. The loading dock hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then the setup hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, the loading dock hours are again 8 to 3 p.m. And then setup goes until 7 p.m. that day. If you can fill out the move-in survey arrival time just to kind of help our staff know when most of the people will be arriving. And then please note, setup will not be permitted on Thursday morning. You need to be set up and ready to go by 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay, so move in for your shipped items. So if you're shipping product to the show, please label all of your packages with 7 dash your booth number and then your full name. You ship it to the MART address. All that information, again, is on Exhibitor Central, which will be referenced a lot. And then the items must arrive either Tuesday or Wednesday. So then once they arrive, they'll go to the dock and then they'll be in your booth once you arrive, if you put your booth number and your full name on your packages. So now we're going to go over, this is just a quick visual of the loading dock details. So first things first is you drive to the loading dock, and then our team will take your product and deliver your items to your booth. So then you will go and park your car. You go down to registration to the south lobby, and then you'll go up to the 7th floor, and then you'll go to your booth, and then your items will be in your booth when you arrive. It's a very seamless process, and we've perfected it over the years, so it'll be great. Okay, so if you're personally transporting work and not coming through the dock, all the items must be hand carried through the freight elevators. Dollies are not allowed while hand transporting your work, so if you do want to hand carry, then you have to do that. You cannot bring the dollies through the building. There is a form on the ordering portal which kind of has images and more information on the passenger elevator use, on what you can bring so you don't get stopped and everything like that. So loading dock reminders. As I said, the drayage, which is material handling, is included in your booth fee. Make sure to label all your packages with your name and booth number if you are shipping, and also so the drayage knows who to bring the product to, which booth. Consolidate all your belongings as best as you can. And then please note that additional fees, any one package over 2,000 pounds will have an overage fee added on. So just as a quick side note. Parking. So we partner with Spot Hero for discounted parking around the area. That information is on Exhibitor Central, so I would do that the sooner the better if you're going to be parking and driving to the show every day, or however you want to get there. So I'm going to pass it on to Jordan for artist amenities.
All right, so there are a few artist amenities that we have to offer you guys. One is our pre-show artist toast, which is going to be on Wednesday, December 4th at 4:30. We will have light bites and refreshments, and it's a great opportunity for you to network with other artists and be able to mix and mingle in a relaxed environment prior to the craziness of the show. We also have an artist lounge located on the show floor where you can go and relax and reset if you need a moment. And there will also be water and some other refreshments in there as well. We also offer a artist food ordering app where you can pre-order your meals during the show, and then you would pick those up at the cafe located on the show floor. We have an artist coat check separate from the attendee coat check that will be located on the 4th floor of the building. We also will have change available if need be, and booth sitters and staff that can help work your booth if need be, and those are available for hire on a form in the ordering portal. A few details about the show floor. Cafes and bars are located throughout the entirety of the show floor. Customers will enter in on the 6,000 and 7,000 aisles. The artist lounge that I mentioned is located behind booth 5125. There will also be some signage as well to guide you. The service desk and the show office are on the southwest side of the show floor, and that's where our team, as well as the service desk staff, will be located. The stage where we'll have the live entertainment is in the center cafe. The fine art gallery is also in the center across from the center cafe. The gourmet market and emerging market are on opposing sides of the show floor. But again, there will be overhead signage directing you for these places as well. And you can always find an updated map like this on Exhibitor Central containing the floor plan if you have any questions and want to look at it further. And now I will be passing it on to Kathleen to discuss your booth details.
Thanks, Jordan. Another just mention about that show floor plan. I recommend everybody goes and looks at the floor plan if you haven't already. Look at your specific booth, get an idea of where it's located, if there's certain columns or certain things in the space. Just get oriented before you get here, so there are no surprises once you're here. So let's talk about some of the details that come with your booth. There are 4 floodlights that are kind of centrally located in the space, 2 in front and 2 in back. But we also have fluorescent lighting, so a couple of tubes of fluorescent lighting. So it's ample lighting, but again, if your product needs more, you can always order more through the ordering portal. Additional equipment that comes with your space is a chair and a wastebasket, but those must be pre-requested, I should say. They are complimentary, but we need to. A lot of artists like to bring their own chairs and wastebaskets, or their own chair, for instance. So you need to request that and make sure that that's been requested, so it's in your space when you get here. So as you can see from the picture behind this slide, there's a light gray carpeting throughout the entire show floor. So it's not standard trade show cement. It's a nice carpeting, and it's consistent. Doesn't conflict with any of your product either. There is signage. We have a standard blade sign that is for wayfinding. So that's for the attendees just to find you based on your booth number and your booth name that's listed on the show guide or show directory. So if you want to bring more signage, we encourage that as well. Drayage is included. That's a term used mostly with bigger trade shows, but we need it for this building because the show is not on the first floor or on the streets. This is on the 7th floor of a large building. So we need the process of getting your product from your vehicle up to the show floor is called drayage, and that is included in your booth fee, whereas other trade shows, other shows, that would be an additional cost. We do vacuum your space after all of the move-in's done, and your space needs to be vacuumed. We vacuum the whole show floor, including your space, right before the night before the show opening. And then our walls, again, as you can see from the photo, and you'll see photos throughout, one of the nicest elements of our booth offering are that the booths come with a hard wall track system. And we'll talk more about the details of the wall on the next slide. One quick note, if you do need a schematic drawing sent to you of your booth, you can go ahead and fill out the form that's on Exhibitor Central, and we can send that out to you. So the booth details of the walls specifically. So the walls are painted white. You can't paint them yourselves, but you can order wall coverings that end up looking like painted walls, and I think it's a great option. Again, that's through the ordering portal. You'll get a quote for how much that'll cost, but they come in a number of different colors. And it's pretty seamless. It looks really clean, and a lot of times it really helps some of the product and artwork to pop. The walls are about an inch thick, and you are able to nail into those walls with manual tools, and each nail would hold approximately 30 pounds. So kind of think that through as you're planning out the space. Again, you may nail and use small screws into the walls. There is no need to patch small nail holes after the show. If something bigger than that creates damage to the wall, you may need to be charged for that. So just be careful when you are nailing in to keep it simple and use those small nails. As we mentioned before, power tools are not permitted. This is a union building. So power tools are not permitted, but manual tools are permitted. A standard inline booth, you were all sent a letter that said you either had a standard inline booth or a corner booth, or the details of your specific booth. So for your information, a standard inline booth has 3 walls. You'll have 2 side walls and a back wall, whereas a corner booth has just two walls, leaving the other 2 as an open corner. You have visibility from 2 sides. And then we talked about the paper covering. So lighting and electric, we talked about the floodlights that are included in your booth. Outside lights may be attached to the may not be attached to the tracks. I want to be clear about that. If you do have questions about, can I bring this light in, or would this be approved, you can go ahead and email our trade show operations team or reach out to one of us and we'll get you in touch. Because it is a union building, again, all of outside lighting needs to be approved. But if you did bring a lamp or something that would be plugged into your standard duplex outlet, then you can go ahead and bring that. We got a little bit of craziness going on here. You do have an outlet, standard duplex, and it's 150 watts. So again, you can plug in your phone and your iPad. If you have any other, electrical items, you can use that outlet for that, and that's included in your booth. Regarding your lights, because they are above your space on tracks, every artist gets a 15-minute free lighting adjustment by one of our electricians. So you'll want to go ahead, once you're ready and your booth is ready, you'll go into the service desk and put in a request for a carpenter to come in, and you can guide them as to how you want those lights directed. So booth signage, we mentioned that you get a blade sign. Again, that's for wayfinding. But it's also a good idea to bring your own, something noticeable regarding your brand or product photography that help the customers find you in a crowd. You want to make sure you leave room for customers to walk through. Sometimes we want to bring so much product in to sell that we forget about, making sure that there's enough space and it's easy and comfortable for the shoppers to come in. Make sure you show your story with your bio. One of the biggest parts of this show and is to make sure that the the shopper attendee knows that you're the artist, and that's what makes the show unique. So make sure that you include your story. I think a lot of the attendees love to understand that, or understand your history, or understand if this is, a second career. They just like to know, a little bit more about who they're buying their product from. It makes for an additional benefit to their purchase. Make sure your space is inviting. Make sure you have business cards, takeaway samples, or materials. It is a big show, so a lot of things happen at the show, obviously, but then a lot of things can happen post-show. We have artists call us all the time about post-show sales, and if you're making sure that they take something from you, there's a good chance that they would be able to find you again and make that purchase or additional purchase later on. So we want to make sure that we show you, as many pictures of booth spaces and display as we can. And so in this display, it's nice and bright. You can see how this person has a corner space. You can see how they're utilizing that space. They're making it easy to walk through. She's showing a lot of product. She also has additional product underneath. So she's using, cabinets for storage. So she's doing a really great job, adding features and utilizing the space. This is a great booth, really clean, minimalist. She uses our wall covering here. So as I mentioned before, this is how it would look. That's a dark gray wall covering on the back, and I think a off-white on the side. She also did her own decals on top of that. She's nailed into the walls with hooks, really unique hooks. So she's really drawing her eye. She's using shelves, which gives dimension to the space, but again, leaving that area for people to walk in, have that connection, get a closer look, and investigate further. So I think this artist did a great job. And again, this is another corner space using that angle. You can see the lights that are above the space and how those are used. You can see a sneak peek at the Blade sign. But this artist also did their own branding sign. They used photography, as we've mentioned. Again, the shelving, adding dimension, but also a great storage and, inventory resource and tool. And then, of course, a fine art booth, still needs to be thought through. How are you able to make sure you get enough work up, but don't overwhelm the attendee? So I think this artist, did various sizes, letting the attendee know that, that she has various sizes, but really highlighting her bigger pieces in a really clean way. I'm going to pass it on to Marie to talk about our emerging market, which is one of our different sections in the show. Here you go, Marie.
Okay, so the emerging market, we're going to go through a couple of the booth details here. So as our emerging artists know, these are roughly 5 by 10. They're 10 feet long and 5 feet deep. You receive 3 floodlights, and then signage is included as well. This area is set up market style. So as you can kind of tell from the pictures in the back, and then I have a couple more pictures. There's no sidewalls, but there is a back wall to hang your product and nail into the wall and put up shelves or whatever you want to do. But it is set up market style, so the attendees can kind of get a different type of, experience through the emerging section. And then we also have an emerging gourmet, which is also located in the emerging section. So here's a couple of pictures of these next ones to kind of get a good idea of what the situation is. This exhibitor kind of brought their own benches and their own tables to kind of have a different experience. And you can kind of tell the crowds that kind of come through. We have joined the meeting. On the next slide here, we have another one is a jewelry artist. Which is a great setup. She brought all of her jewelry and kind of set up different things that you can do. You can be creative with it however you want. And yeah, we really love we usually have around 40 to 50 emerging artists. They're all new to the show, but they bring a really great crowd, which is great. And then here's the last photo of another emerging booth. All the emerging artists received their booth location, so you should have seen a couple of these photos. But if you have any other questions regarding the emerging booths, you can just let me know. So now I'm going to get into the gourmet market with some booth details. So these booths are approximately 5 by 20, 100 square feet. You also receive 4 floodlights and signage as well. You can kind of tell in the back that there's like a gourmet market signage, a big one that we provide just so people know, again, for wayfinding. You can bring in replenishments throughout the show. So if you go through all of your samples or all your product, the second day, then you can bring in more if you would like on the second and third day. And then you can also sample your product as well. So here's a couple pictures of the gourmet section. This booth did great to kind of, spice up their area and make it colorful and inviting and have sampling, which is great. It's a very busy section. So we kind of like to keep it, as inviting and as great as we can. So here's another one. They brought a freezer. They have freeze like soup and product and stuff like that. And they just keep it frozen, and they gave them insulated boxes to, keep their products all so they can walk around the rest of the show after buying a frozen product, which is a really great idea. I'm going to pass it on to Jordan to talk about the hatchery vendors.
All right, so the hatchery vendors, which if you're unfamiliar, Hatchery is a local Chicago incubator for food entrepreneurs, and they are a show partner of ours that we have joining us at the show. And this year, the hatchery vendors are going to be located near the emerging section, which is in the southeast side corner of the show. For the hatchery vendors, you will be provided with a table, a chair, as well as a green linen, the hatchery green color linen. Sampling is allowed in your space as well. And our team will coordinate the move out process with hatchery prior to the show, so you guys know when you're going to be moving out. Here's a quick image of a hatchery vendor that we had, and you can see that she was able to utilize her own marketing materials behind her table. As long as it's within your bounds, those are fine to bring, and as long as they are behind the table and not blocking the aisles, those are fine as well. And now I'm going to pass it on to Debbie to discuss the ordering portal.
So by now you should have received an email with a link that give you access to Boomer, which is our online ordering portal. You would log in using your email, and if you've used Boomer before, you can use the same password. Otherwise, you can reset your password. We have some discounted services that if you order before November 8th, then the price is discounted. This is for requesting any labor in advance, ordering any additional equipment such as chairs. If you do have any other questions, though, about ordering anything, you can reach out to our trade show ops team at the email listed, and also email that if you haven't received that link for Boomer. There's 2 types of storage. There's accessible storage and inaccessible storage. Accessible storage is available for a fee. It's $150, and you'll receive a 5x5 space where you can store anything that you want to replenish your booth with additional merchandise. The accessible storage will be located on the 4th floor. We'll have an elevator that accesses the space directly. If you do need to reserve a spot, there's a link there where you can reserve that. Anything that's not in accessible storage is inaccessible storage. We stored that on a different floor in the building that is complimentary. Everything that you store there, you'll label with a sticker that says empty storage with your booth number. At the end of the show, it will be returned back to you, and that is complimentary, and that is part of your booth fee.
Okay, so as I previously mentioned, we do offer comp tickets for the artists. If you haven't already received or ordered a 100 pack of comp postcard physical on Exhibitor Central, we are still offering those. They're still available. And additionally, this Friday, we will be sending out your personalized digital comp code that you can share for tickets as well. And that has a max of 100 uses for each artist. Some additional information to note is that wireless internet is provided. You should be able to go on and connect to the Wi-Fi. There is no password required. Central Cashier is also available. This is a service that is primarily used by international exhibitors, and there will be signage on the show floor indicating where the central cashiers are located. If for any reason you need to ship anything, there is a FedEx on the second floor of the building, and we also offer an on-site shipper at the service desk. So if you want any more information about that, you can speak with the staff at the service desk. Large items that have sold, furniture, paintings, etc., that need to be removed through the dock, that can also be arranged with the staff at the service desk. And then I think I previously mentioned this as well. Cafes when you show your artist badge. So make sure you have that on you if you're going to get some food from the cafe, so you can get that discount. And now we're going to discuss end of show and move out. I'm going to discuss end of show. So teardown begins at 5 p.m. on Sunday, and that's when anything that you put into inaccessible storage, your empty boxes, will be returned back to you, and you can begin packing up. Dismantle and loadout hours are on Sunday the 8th from 5 to 11 p.m. and then Monday the 9th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Anybody that is loading out by a personal vehicle can begin moving out when you get your empties back from the inaccessible storage on Sunday at 5. And now we'll discuss move out procedures.
Be receiving an email with instructions on the move out process. If you are moving out in your own vehicle, you will be getting a link to sign up for a spot. So there'll be an email that comes through with all of the information regarding that. Immediately after the show ends, we will return all of the empties that are in your inaccessible storage to you. That will come back to you automatically. You don't need to make a request. That will just come back as long as you labeled all of your storage with the correct booth number. That will be delivered back to you. It tends to take about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes for everything to come back to you. If you do have goods in accessible storage, you are free to go and retrieve that yourself, or if you do need assistance, we also can provide that as well. Based on when you sign up for your move out spot, once it's your turn and you're all packed up, our union workers will come to your booth. They will load up your merchandise, and while they're loading it up, they will start bringing it down. That's your cue. They will give you a window card. You'll go get your car. You'll put the window card in your car, and that will give you permission to pull into the dock. By the time you get into the dock, your goods will be down on the dock for you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Deb. So regarding that move out procedure, we're going to be reviewing that. Again, you'll get letters and information on that. And then you'll also get a handout at the show that's going to walk you through all of those details too. So you don't have to remember that. We just wanted to give you an overview of what to expect. So we're getting to the end with what will happen at the, move out and then post show. So again, we want to make sure that you follow up with all of your show leads. This show, we consider it, a year-round show with the post-show, outreach that you're doing and the post-show, hopefully, sales that you get. So make sure you utilize that experience. We will send you a post-show survey via email after the show to help us improve, our process, right? We always, every year, we make changes based on things and ideas that artists give us. We're here to help you have the best experience, so we'd love to get that feedback. Something else to consider, make sure you file your sales tax form, which we'll have in Exhibitor Central, we'll have in the show office. We'll provide you one in a welcome packet that we'll give you when you walk into the show. And then again, if you leave without it, it'll be online, indefinitely. So make sure you go ahead and submit that sales tax form. And then there's also often a lot of questions about insurance. We are offering ACT Insurance as a resource for you that can answer your questions about what type of insurance you should have to protect your work and yourself at the show. And then we want to make sure that you've all are saving the date for next year's show. The show dates will be December 4th through the 7th next year. As a returning artist, you will get an opportunity to re-sign after the show for your space. Otherwise, we would open it up for our jury, which the jury deadline would be in May for the next show. So final checklist. We're getting to the end. You want to make sure you complete your artist profile. I can't stress that enough. That's an additional element to your experience, and your booth fee is that your artist profile on our website where people can come and view you. They can, find out where you're going to be with your booth number. They can pre-shop if they want with links to your website. So make sure that's as robust as possible because again, that's an added benefit to your experience. Make sure you review Exhibitor Central if we haven't said it enough. This is one last reminder. Make sure you think about your booth layout. I know I spoke about it a little bit earlier, but there's a lot happening when you get here. So if you can be thoughtful about, to the best of your ability, about pre-planning your layout, I think it'll save for a lot of headaches once you get here and you're moving quickly and you want to make sure you get, everything up and ready by the show open. So planning your booth layout is really important. Go ahead and order equipment and services through our ordering portal and do so before that November 8th deadline to make sure you get the discounted rate. Consider signing up for accessible storage. Utilizing accessible storage for your replenishment really helps open up that space and allows you to, show the work, with less clutter and allow the space to be more inviting. So definitely consider registering for an accessible storage space. Read through your monthly newsletters. They're all linked on our website. We send them every month. The last one came out October 15th, roughly, and we'll send another one in November, and we'll send a final email checklist right before the show. But again, we try not to over email you all, so lots of information is in those newsletters, things that have deadlines approaching. And then I would encourage you to join the Facebook group. That's where artists in the show can chit chat about their experience or what they're planning or questions they have. You'll be connected to some of our seasoned artists if you're new to the show, and it's really great to have that connection both pre-show and at the show. And now I think we're going to open it up to questions that we have coming in through the chat. Yep. Okay, we had a question about the sales tax in the city of Chicago. The sales tax is 10.25, and that will be listed on the sales tax form. So again, I want to repeat that we have a question about sales tax in the city of Chicago, and the sales tax is 10.25, and that again will be listed on your sales tax form that we'll provide for you. Is there security at the end of every night? Yes, we have security on the show floor 24 hours. Are there any closing procedures? We lost that one. Hang on one sec. Okay. Are there any closing procedures for every booth at the end of the night? No, there are some artists that like to kind of cover the front of their booth with either some sort of draping, or I've seen even, just kind of a string or something to deter. But there's no needed. It's not, we don't require you to close off your space. And again, we do have security that roams the floor and kind of guides people out the door, and then they do constant roaming to secure the space, as well as the doors of that show floor being locked, at the end of the show. Let's see. Is the Fine Art Gallery juried? Yes, it is. So you can find that application on Exhibitor Central, and it's a really great space. The image right here that you're looking at is one of a recent Fine Art Gallery. A lot of times quite often artists sell out of that space, and we allow them to replenish that with another piece of the same size. So, but it's a really great opportunity if you are a fine artist. Is there a map of where the loading dock is? We will send you loading dock instructions. In my final email, I'll send you directions specifically to the loading dock. We don't have a map, but we'll send you those directions pre-show. Let's see. Is the space warm or cold? That's a great question. It's a big space, and it does fluctuate with the number of attendees that are, the crowds that we get. So it can be cool sometimes and it can be warm sometimes, but we are constantly balancing that out throughout the day. If there is a moment where you're finding that it's just too hot in your specific space, please come to the service desk. We can have the engineers cool down or warm up that specific area. The floor is broken down that way that we can do that. So if for some reason that happens, just let us know. I'm just looking through, make sure we're covering everything. I know the team's responding as well. Can we keep overstock in our booth space? You can, but again, I want to make sure that everyone's bringing their best presentation. And if there are boxes, stacked with inventory, it doesn't give the same feel that we want our attendees to feel that this is a unique, handmade, one-of-a-kind show. So a lot of artists are able to hide it, so conceal it within their space. But yeah, stacking it up or making it too visible, we would ask that you go ahead and put that extra in your storage. Let's see, what kind of furniture is not allowed in? What kind of furniture is not allowed into the show or into your booth? I can't really think of anything. As long as it fits in your space, you're able to bring furniture as part of your display if that's what you would like to do. There is a phone contact for the service desk that will be texted to you. We'll be providing the text for the service desk in a drop sheet in your booth space, so you'll have access throughout the show. If we reserve storage on the 4th floor, do we receive extra stock? Do we retrieve extra stock, or does someone retrieve it for us? Yes, you would go ahead and retrieve that extra stock. If you needed help with one of our team members to help you, you'd order that through the service desk, and they would need to do that pre-show. So you'd want to do that before the show opens in that 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock time period. We don't want to have our flatbeds bringing product to your space during the show. In fact, they wouldn't be able to because of the crowds. Can we use a cart? Nope, there are no carts or dollies allowed. We have a union building, so if you did need that, you would request that at the service desk, and we'd have a material handler help you with that. Okay. You would get those from the service desk, yes. Anything that you would order pre-show or at the show, you would do through the service desk. A question about insurance. All artists are required to have their own insurance. Typically, artists get a rider on their home insurance or renter's insurance. And it is up to you to get that. You don't need to provide us with that, but it is for your own safety, the safety of your product and the safety of anyone in your space. So again, I would reach out to ACT Insurance for further questions about the details of insurance for the show. Can the extra stuff be rolled in my luggage? Yes, luggage, roll cart luggage pieces are allowed on the show floor. If we need to put screws in the wall, it looks like Debbie's, oh no, if we need to put screws in the wall, can we use a battery operated drill? Yes, you may. Battery operated or manual operated tools. I think we hit most of them. So again, if there are further questions, feel free to email any of us. All of our contact information's on our website, and we will be posting this webinar on the website by the end of the day, so you can review it, go through it, and it has all the links within it. But go ahead and email us if we haven't answered any of your questions. We are less than 2 months. We're 2 months out. So please let us know if you need anything. We are all here to help you. We're looking forward to a great show. We've got people calling us for tickets already. Tickets go on sale the 18th, and you'll be receiving your comp tickets on the 18th as well. So go ahead and get all those comp tickets out and get registered, and we'll see you at the show for a great show. Looking forward to it. Thanks for being here.